still in athletics, Abeokuta is set to host the 2025 Confederation of African Athletics in the under 18 and under 20 category from July 16th to the 20th. And of course, another nearly 1,000 athletes, 900 to be specific, are expected to compete at the MK Abiola Stadium in Abuja. Kingsley, 583 athletes from 30 countries coming to participate in this one, and could even increase in number.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm loving it. Seeing Nigeria hosting tournament like this is really getting very much interesting. We'll talk about the fencing championship, the arm wrestling, and now we're also hosting, the athletics, championship as it stands. I think Shehu Diko have to come into this one due to, Algeria, saying they won't host this particular one. Shehu Diko have to step in for Nigeria, of course, to host this one. I think for me, you talk about preparation. I think we're very much prepared. Now they are using Abeokuta. Of course, don't forget Abeokuta was used for the just concluded National Sport Festival, and we saw how good, of course, that particular facilities was able to host, the athletes, that came. So I think in terms of preparation and hosting other countries that will become, I don't think they will have any issues because the facilities are very much, prepared. Then you talk about, Nigerian athletes, how well they will perform. They've been camping and they've been training. So I think top-notch preparation for this particular one. So we'll just look forward to see a befitting tournament and a world-class performance from Nigeria as well.
I'm very interested in the fact that it is an age-grade competition. And when you talk about replacing aging athletes, this is the avenue to pick some of the very talented athletes from. We talked about Favor Philly the other day, moving to Turkey. There could be a new Favor Philly being picked from here. And beyond that, like you mentioned, there was arm wrestling championship ongoing, and of course, the fencing. Now is the athletics under 18 and under 20 category. 12 billion naira, we understand, is being put across to the Sports Commission to organize most of this. And I think it looks like we are beginning to see part of that 12 billion.
Yeah, definitely. 12 billion, of course, was put in, and we must commend the National Sport Commission. They've been very, they've been working tirelessly. And you talk about this 12 billion, didn't just come, from the federal government. They have to work with the private sectors, yes, to make sure they're able to get this money to make sure they host, these tournaments, as a standard. I think for me, it's a good one. Gone are those days when the commission will have to depend on the government, for everything. This is the time we have to make sure that sport is viable. We'll talk about sport, of course, being one of the means of, enhancing the economy. And this is how, of course, to start. And Shehu Diko and his men, they are doing in that particular direction. I think at this point in time, we'll now see, how other federations, sporting federation, of course, could be independent, going to execute their own tournament, and possibly making sure that their athletes, are very much okay, not depending on the sport ministry or probably or the federal government. This is what Shehu Diko is trying to show, that we can see how to partner with private sectors to make sure that when it has to do with funds, we generate funds to host this tournament and not always depending on the federal government at every moment when we want to host a competition like this.